Before we begin, I want you to understand something about what you are about to hear. These are the oldest religious words ever written down by human hands. Not the oldest beliefs, not the oldest prayers. Human beings have been reaching toward God since before they could write. But these are the oldest ones anyone thought to carve into stone, and the stone has held them for 4,500 years. We are going back now, further than the Bible, further than Abraham, further than Noah, further than any story most people have ever heard. We are going to Egypt, to a time when the pyramids of Giza were not ancient monuments, they were new, still white with polished limestone, catching the desert sun like enormous flames. The year is approximately 2,400 years before the birth of Christ. The pyramid texts were carved into the walls and sarcophagi of the royal pyramids at Saqqara in Egypt. They were written for the pharaohs to guide the king's soul through death and into eternal life. They are not entertainment. They are not mythology in the dismissive sense of that word. They are theology, serious, desperate, beautiful, written by people who loved someone and could not bear the thought that death was the end of him. Listen to what they wrote. O King, you have not departed dead, you have departed alive. O King, you are not gone, you have become. They believed that death was not an ending, but a transformation, a passage, a becoming. The soul of the king was called the Ba, his vital force was the Ka. And at death these two things had to find each other again and rise together toward the imperishable stars. The texts speak of a journey through the Duat, the underworld, the place between death and life. The soul would face gates and guardians and tests, and the darkness of deep places. But there were words for every gate, words of power, words that opened locked doors, words that named the darkness and took away its authority. You will know this structure if you have read the book of Revelation, or the journey of Dante, or any story about a hero who goes into the underworld and comes back changed. The pattern is that old, it was already ancient when Moses was born. Here is what they said about the resurrection of the king. The sky thunders, the earth quakes, Geb trembles, the two domains of God roar. The earth is beaten for you by God. You ascend to the sky, you cross the firmament. Does that language sound familiar? The sky thundering, the earth shaking at the moment of divine resurrection. The writers of the New Testament were not inventing that imagery. They were reaching for the same ancient human vocabulary that people had always reached for when trying to describe what resurrection looks like. But here is the most extraordinary thing in the pyramid texts. Among all the spells and rituals and royal proclamations, there is tenderness. A mother goddess searching for her son, a wife refusing to accept that her husband is truly gone, a father looking at his child and saying, "You are not dead. You have not gone. You are becoming." 4,500 years ago, in the desert of Egypt, someone who loved someone stood in the darkness of a tomb and refused to believe that love ends. We will go deeper into these texts in the next part of our journey, into the judgment of the soul, into the weighing of the heart, into the extraordinary moment where an Egyptian scribe wrote something that sounds so much like the words of David that scholars have argued about it for 200 years. But for now, let these oldest of words settle into you. 4,500 years ago, someone was asking the same questions you are asking. Where do we go? Does love survive death? Is there someone on the other side who knows our name? They carved the answers they hoped for into stone, and the stone is still here, still holding the words, still waiting for someone to read them.